Jake Morrison walked into the huge council room. His black shoes made soft sounds on the cold metal floor. The room was bigger than a football field. Tall windows showed the stars outside. Hundreds of alien beings sat in curved rows of seats that went up to the ceiling. Morrison wore his best blue suit. His gray hair was neat. His face looked calm, but his hands were tight at his sides. Behind him walked three other humans. Dr. Lisa Hayes carried a small computer. Captain Ben Rogers had his hands behind his back. Colonel Steve Parker held a folder of papers. The aliens were talking in many different languages. Some made clicking sounds, others hummed low notes, a few hissed like snakes. But Morrison could see they were all looking at the humans and smiling, not nice smiles. Mean smiles. At the front of the room sat the most important aliens. High Counselor Velthara had 4 arms and blue skin. Her people were the oldest in the galaxy. Next to her was Ambassador Kethfer. His body looked like a big jellyfish with long arms that moved in the air. His people controlled the biggest space fleet. Morrison stopped in the center of the room. A bright light came down from above. All the alien eyes looked at him. He felt very small, but he stood up straight. The United Earth Federation wants to leave the Galactic Cooperation Treaty, Morrison said. His voice was strong and clear. We do not want to be part of this group anymore. The room became very quiet. Then the aliens started to laugh. It was not a good sound. Some aliens made barking noises. Others made high singing sounds. The jellyfish aliens' arms shook with laughter. The little humans want to leave? Kethfer said. His voice came from a machine that turned his words into English. How funny. The babies are tired of following rules made by grown-ups. More laughter filled the room. Morrison felt his face get hot. But he did not move. Velthara stood up. Her 4 arms moved as she talked. Let them go, she said. They give us nothing good anyway. Their machines are old. Their ideas are simple. Their soldiers are weak. Dr. Hayes stepped forward. She was a small woman with short brown hair. We have helped this alliance for many years, she said. Our research has solved many problems. Our people have built many things. A robot alien made loud metal sounds that meant laughter. Your research? It said. Your work is like a child playing with toys. Your buildings are copies of things we made long ago. Face the truth, humans. You are the ones we help because we feel sorry for you. Captain Rogers made his hands into fists. His face was red with anger, but he said nothing. For 3 years he had watched alien ships protect alien worlds while human colonies were attacked by pirates. The aliens always said they were too busy to help humans. We want all our people to come home, Morrison said. We want all our things back. We are leaving today. Good, called out an alien from the back. Now the real people can do real work. The monkey people can go back to their little blue planet, said another alien. More mean laughter filled the room. Morrison looked at his team. Dr. Hayes had a small smile on her face. Captain Rogers looked angry but also looked like he knew. A secret. Colonel Parker was writing notes and did not look worried at all. Morrison turned to leave. We will pack our things and go, he said. Run home to Mommy? Kethfer called out. His arms waved in the air like he was dancing. As the humans walked toward the door, the aliens kept making jokes. Maybe now we can get some real scientists, one said. The humans never understood real technology anyway, said another, the 4. Humans left the big room. The door closed behind them. In the hallway, they could still hear the aliens laughing and talking. Are you sure about this, sir? Colonel Parker asked Morrison. Morrison smiled for the first time that day. Very sure, Steve. They think we are nothing. They think we do not matter. They will learn how wrong they are. Dr. Hayes looked at her computer. The ships are ready. All our people know the plan. They are waiting for the signal. Captain Rogers checked his watch. How long do you think it will take? For them to realize what they have lost? Morrison asked. Not long. Maybe a few months before things start to break. Maybe 6 months before they understand what we really did for them. They walked down the long hallway. Their footsteps echoed off the walls. Behind them, the aliens were still celebrating. They thought they had won something. They thought getting rid of the humans was good news, but the humans knew something the aliens did not know. For 50 years, humans had been fixing problems all over the galaxy. Human engineers had built the most important machines. Human doctors had saved millions of alien lives. Human scientists had solved the hardest puzzles. The aliens thought humans were just helpers. They thought humans were not very smart. They were about to learn the truth. Humans were not the students. Humans were the teachers. And the teachers were going home. Morrison stopped at the big window that looked out at space. Far away he could see a small yellow star. That was the sun. That was home. Soon all the humans in the galaxy would be going back there. Let them laugh now, Morrison said quietly. In a few months they will not be laughing anymore. The four humans continued walking toward their ship. Behind them, the Galaxy Council was making plans for their bright future without humans. They had no idea that their future was about to become very dark indeed. 6 months had passed since the humans left the Galaxy Council. The big space stations kept working. The alien ships kept flying between planets. The markets kept selling things. Everything seemed normal. Commander Rick Stone stood in the main room of Research Station Alpha 7. His team was taking apart the last machines. They put everything into big metal boxes. The boxes would go on to ships that would take them back to Earth. Stone was a tall man with brown hair and tired eyes. He had worked on this station for 5 years. He had helped build many important things here. But now it was time to go home. Quimish walked around the room watching the humans work. He was a Velation alien with green skin and 6 arms. He was the boss of the station now. His big yellow eyes looked very happy. "So you are running back to your little world?" Quimish said. His voice sounded like he was making fun of them. "Good, now we can do real science here. We do not need simple human minds anymore." Lieutenant Amy Foster was packing computers into a box. She was a young woman with red hair. She looked at her boss, Commander Stone. "Should we tell him about the safety locks?" she asked quietly. Stone shook his head. "No, let him find out himself." Amy smiled a little. She knew what would happen when they left. The machines would not work right without human control. But the aliens did not know this all over the galaxy. Humans were leaving their jobs. Dr. Carol White left the big hospital on planet Zeta Prime. She had been the head doctor there for 8 years. The alien doctors were happy to see her go. "Finally," said Dr. Nexara, who had blue skin and 3 eyes. "Now we can treat patients the right way. Human medicine is too simple." Dr. White just picked up her bag and walked out. She did not tell them that she had invented the new healing machines they used every day. She did not tell them that the machines needed special care to work right. On the trade world of Nexus Prime, Captain Tony Brooks was loading his last ship. He had been trading goods between planets for 10 years. His alien partner Zekther was already bringing in new people to take over. "Your people never understood real business," Zekther said. He was a tall alien with silver skin and no hair. "These new partners from Krilla will make much more money." Brooks smiled and shook his head. "You will see, old friend. You will see." But Brooks did not tell Zekther that he had created the computer programs that tracked all the goods. He did not tell him that the programs needed updates every week, or they would stop working. At the Galaxy military base, General Paul Martinez was taking his soldiers home. The alien generals were glad to see them go. "Human soldiers are too soft," said General Vexkal, who had thick gray skin like a rock. "They worry too much about not hurting people. Real soldiers do not think like that." Martinez did not say anything, but he smiled inside. The aliens did not know that humans had built the communication systems that let all the alien armies talk to each other. Without those systems, the alien armies would not be able to work together. On Earth, President Helen Carter sat in her office. She was looking at reports from all over the galaxy. The reports told her how many humans had come home. Almost all of them were back now. "How are our people doing?" she asked General Martinez. "Good, Madam President. Everyone is home safe." "The aliens are happy to see us go?" Dr. Hayes was also in the office. She had charts on her computer. The interesting part is what they have not noticed yet, she said. President Carter looked at the charts. How long before they see the problems? Based on how proud they are? I think 1 month before things start breaking. 3 months before they understand how big the problem is. The president looked serious, and 6 months before they ask for help. Far from Earth, the last human ship was crossing into the safe area around the sun. Behind them, the galaxy was still celebrating. The aliens thought they had won something important, but the humans knew what was really happening. For 50 years, humans had been the ones who fixed problems. When alien machines broke, humans fixed them. When alien computer programs had bugs, humans made them work. When alien cities needed better air, humans built the machines that cleaned it. The aliens thought humans were just helpers. They thought humans were not smart enough to do important work. They were wrong. On Research Station Alpha 7, Quimish was trying to start the main computers, but the computers would not turn on. He pushed buttons and tried different codes. Nothing worked. Get me the technical books, he told his workers, but when they brought the books, Quimish found something strange. The books told him how to use the computers, but they did not tell him how to fix them when they broke. All the repair information had been in the human computers that were now gone. At the hospital on Zeta Prime, Dr. Nexara was having problems. 2. The healing machines were making sick people worse instead of better. She tried to fix them, but she did not understand how they really worked on Nexus Prime. Ziegther was watching his new partners from Krilla. They were supposed to be great traders, but they could not make the tracking computers work. Goods were getting lost. Ships were going to the wrong places. All over the galaxy, small problems were starting to happen. Most aliens did not notice. Yet the problems were not big enough to worry about. But they were growing. Commander Stone was now back on Earth. He lived in a small house near the ocean. He liked to watch the waves and think about space. His wife Amy was with him. She was happy to be home. Do you think they know yet? Amy asked him. Stone looked up at the stars. Not yet. But they will. They will learn what happens when you treat friends like enemies. The galaxy was about to learn a hard lesson. The humans they had laughed at were the ones who had kept everything working. Now the humans were gone. And soon, nothing would work at all. The first big problem happened at Kepler Station. It was the biggest fuel factory in the galaxy. The station made special fuel for all the spaceships. Without this fuel, no ship could fly between stars. Chief Engineer Vexhari was a dragon-like alien with red scales and sharp teeth. He stood in the control room looking at many red warning lights. All the lights were flashing. This was very bad. Run the test again, he told his helper. His helper was a young alien named Colvin. He had blue skin and moved very fast. Colvin pushed many buttons on the control panel. Numbers showed up on the screen. The numbers were all wrong. The same. Results, sir, Colvin said. His voice sounded scared. The fuel container is breaking down. We are losing fuel very fast. Vexhari made angry growling sounds. This is impossible. This station has worked perfectly for 200 years. Get me the instruction books. Many hours later, Vexhari sat surrounded by books and computer screens. He had been reading for a long time. His eyes were tired and his head hurt. But he had found something very bad. The fuel container system was not old alien technology. It was new. It was made by humans only 30 years ago. The math that made it work was human math. The safety systems were human safety systems. The computer programs were written by humans. Where are the humans who built this? Vexhari asked. Colvin looked at the worker list on his computer. They left 6 weeks ago, sir. They went back to Earth with all the other humans. At the same time, other places were having problems too. On the mining planet Zarian 7, the air machines were breaking down. The machines that made the air safe to breathe were not working right. The air was becoming poisoned. The boss of the planet was a robot alien named Zorthik. He was made of metal and had red glowing eyes. He was very smart, but he could not fix the air machines. Who designed these air systems? He asked his workers. Human climate scientists, sir, came the answer. They left 2 months ago. On the medical planet Healing World, Dr. Nexara was having her own crisis. The healing machines that fixed hurt people were going crazy. Instead of healing, they were making people sick. Some people were growing extra arms. Others were changing colors. Dr. Nexara had 3 eyes and blue skin. She was supposed to be very smart, but she could not understand how the healing machines worked. She read all the books. She asked other doctors. No one knew how to fix them. The calibration protocols, she said to herself. Who wrote the calibration protocols? She looked at the computer files. The answer made her stomach feel sick. Human bioengineers had written all the protocols. The humans who were now gone. At Galactic Central, the biggest spaceport in the galaxy, ships were crashing into each other. The computer system that told ships where to go was not working right. Captain Jexmore was in charge of the spaceport. He was a tall alien with green skin and 4 arms. Why are the ships flying into each other? He asked his control team. The traffic control system is broken, sir, said his helper. It used to predict where ships would go. Now just guesses. Jexmore looked at the technical files. The prediction system had been made by human mathematicians. The humans had made it work perfectly for 15 years. But now the humans were gone. All over the galaxy, the same thing was happening. Weather control systems were making terrible storms instead of nice weather. Transportation systems were sending people to the wrong places. Food storage systems were letting food go bad. The Galaxy Council called an emergency meeting. Hi, Counselor. Velthara sat at the big table. Her 4 arms were shaking. Around the table sat representatives from 47 different alien species. They all looked very worried. How did we not know about this? Velthara asked. Her voice was not as strong as before. Counselor Zephyrin was an alien with silver skin and big black eyes. He had been studying the problem for days. The humans were everywhere, he said. They helped with everything. But they never asked for credit. They just fixed things and made them work better. But surely our own engineers can fix these problems? Velthara asked. Nobody answered for a long time. The silence was very loud. Finally, Zephyrin spoke again. The math the humans used is different from our math. It is more advanced. Their way of thinking about problems is not like our way. We do not understand how they made things work. Velthara felt very cold. Contact the humans. Tell them we need to talk. I tried, Zephyrin said quietly. They will not answer our calls? Back on Earth, Ambassador Morrison was sitting in his office on the moon. He was reading reports from all over the galaxy. The reports told him about all the problems the aliens were having. Colonel Parker came into the office. The Zephyrian space communication system is completely broken, he said. They cannot talk to their own ships anymore. Morrison was not surprised. And the Corellian trade routes? Chaos. Their cargo ships are flying into each other because they lost the navigation system our people built. Dr. Hayes came in carrying her computer. The medical problems are the worst. That disease on Altair 3 has spread to 6 more planets. Their doctors cannot stop it without our medical protocols. Morrison stood up and looked out the window at Earth. The blue planet looked very peaceful. How many aliens have asked for our help? 47 governments, 12 big companies, and 3 religious groups, Parker said. They all want us to come back right away, Morrison smiled, but it was not a happy smile. 6 months ago they called us stupid. They said we were useless. They laughed when we left. And now? Dr. Hayes asked. Now they are learning that we were not their helpers. We were the ones who made everything work. We were not the students, we were the teachers. On the trade world Nexus Prime, Ziegther was standing in his empty warehouse. All his goods had gone bad because the preservation systems did not work. Without human maintenance. His new partners from Krilla had run away when they could not fix anything. He sent a message to Tony Brooks on Earth. Please come back, the message said. We will pay you anything you want. But Tony Brooks did not answer. All over the galaxy, aliens were starting to panic. The systems that had kept them alive and happy for decades were failing. And the only people who could fix them were the humans they had driven away. The galaxy. was about to learn that respect cannot be bought. It has to be earned. The problems got worse very fast. What started as small broken machines became a disaster across the whole galaxy. The Galaxy Emergency Council met every day as planet after planet reported that important things were breaking down. Ambassador Morrison sat in his office on the moon looking at his computer screen. Messages from alien governments were coming in every minute. All of them were begging for help. His helper, Colonel Steve Parker, was reading him the latest reports. The Zephyrian Space Communication Network is completely dead, Parker said. Their ships cannot talk to each other anymore. 3 ships crashed yesterday because they could not get landing instructions. Morrison nodded. He was not surprised. What about the Corellian shipping? Total chaos. Their cargo ships are flying into each other because they lost the computer system that told them where to go. 23 major crashes in the past 2 weeks. Dr. Hayes came into the office carrying her tablet computer. She looked very serious. The medical problems are getting much worse. That plague on Altair 3 has now spread to 12 worlds. Without our disease control protocols, they cannot stop it from spreading. Morrison stood up and walked to the window. He could see Earth hanging in space like a blue jewel. It looked so peaceful compared to the chaos in the rest of the galaxy. How many direct requests for help have we gotten? Morrison asked. 68 separate governments, 24 major companies, and 7 religious groups, Parker replied. They are all begging us to come back immediately. The situation was very strange. The same aliens who had laughed at humans 6 months ago were now desperate for human help. They had discovered that humans had not just been part of galactic civilization. Humans had been the most important part. On the trade world Nexus Prime, Merchant Zeekther stood in his empty warehouse. The walls were covered with mold and the air smelled bad. Without the human-designed preservation systems, all his expensive goods had rotted during shipping. His new partners from Krilla had quit when they could not make the supply computers work. Zeekther remembered how Tony Brooks had quietly managed everything for years. Brooks had never bragged about his work. He had just made sure everything ran smoothly. Now Zeekther understood how important that work had been. Tony, please answer, Zeekther said into his communication device. I will give you anything you want. I will make you my partner. Just please come back. But Tony Brooks did not answer any of his messages. In the Andromeda sector, Quimish stood in the research station looking at dead computer screens. The alien had been so excited to get rid of the humans. He had been sure that real aliens could do better science than humans, but now nothing worked. The computers would not turn on. The laboratory equipment was broken. The experiments had all failed. Quimish had tried for months to fix things, but he did not understand how any of it worked. Commander Stone, who was now back on Earth, received a personal message from Quimish. The alien's usual proud attitude was gone. Instead, he sounded desperate and scared. Commander, we need your help badly. The station is completely dead. We will pay any price. We will accept any terms you want. Just please help us. Stone showed the message to his wife, Amy. She shook her head sadly. They still do not understand, do they? They think this is about money. No, Stone replied. They never understood that respect cannot be bought. You have to earn it. At the Galaxy Council, the emergency meetings were getting more desperate. High Counselor Velthara looked much older than she had 6 months ago. Her forearms shook as she read the latest disaster reports. The situation is getting worse every day, she said to the Council. We have lost contact with entire sectors. Some planets are going back to primitive technology. Counselor Zephyrin stood up. His silver skin looked pale. We have tried everything. Our best engineers cannot fix these systems. Our smartest scientists cannot understand how they work. We need the humans back. Then we must make them come back, said General Crixtal, a military leader with thick armor and red eyes. Our armies are still strong. We can force them to help us. Velthara looked around the room. Many of the other council members were nodding. Very well, prepare the fleet. We will go to the human home system and make them cooperate. On Earth, President Carter was meeting with her military leaders. Spy satellites had detected the alien fleet moving toward Earth. General Martinez was showing her the pictures on a big screen. They are bringing everything they have, Martinez said. 200 warships from 15 different species. It is the largest war fleet in galactic history. Carter looked at the pictures. The alien fleet was huge and impressive, but she was not worried. How many ships do we have ready? 30 ships, Madam President. The new ones with the special technology. Secretary of State Dan Williams looked concerned. 30 ships against 200. Can we win? Carter smiled. They still do not understand. They think this is about who has more ships. They are about to learn that humans do not fight like other species. Admiral Ben Rogers was now in command of the Earth Defense Force. He stood on the bridge of his ship, the UES Defiance. Through the front window he could see the massive alien fleet approaching Earth. "Sir, we are getting a message from the alien fleet," said his communications officer. Kate Phillips. On the main screen appeared the face of Admiral Kethver, the jellyfish-like alien who had laughed at humans months ago. But he was not laughing. Now he looked angry and desperate. "Admiral Rogers, I am authorized to offer Earth full membership in the Galaxy Council. We will give you unlimited resources and complete control over your own affairs. In exchange, you must immediately return to help us fix our systems." Rogers smiled coldly. "And if we refuse? Then we will take what we need by force. Your people will be made to serve whether they want to or not." The message ended. Rogers turned to his tactical officer, Commander Ryan Hayes. "Are you ready?" "Yes, Sir, all systems are prepared." Rogers looked out at the alien fleet. They had come here thinking they could force humans to obey. They were about to learn that threatening humanity was the biggest mistake they could make. "Execute the plan," Rogers said quietly. The aliens did not know that humanity had spent 3 years preparing for this moment. The same people who had built the galaxy systems had also built the weapons to destroy them. And they had built something else too, something that would change everything. The war was about to begin. But it would not be the kind of war the aliens expected. The alien fleet was huge. 200 warships from 15 different alien species floated near Earth like a dark cloud. Admiral Kethver commanded the fleet from his flagship. He was sure that 30 human ships could not fight against his mighty force. Admiral Ben Rogers stood on the bridge of his ship, the UES Defiance. His small fleet of 30 human ships looked tiny compared to the alien armada, but Rogers was calm. He had been waiting for this moment for 3 years. "Sir, the alien fleet is moving closer," reported his communications officer, Kate Phillips. Rogers nodded. "Good, let them come close enough to see what happens next." Admiral Kethver sent another message to the human fleet. His jellyfish-like face appeared on all the screens. "This is your last chance, humans. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Refuse, and we will destroy your pathetic little fleet." Rogers activated his own communication system. His message went out to every ship in both fleets. "Admiral Kethver, you came here to force us to serve you. You think you can make us into slaves. Today you will learn what happens when you threaten humanity." The first part of the human plan was subtle. All across the galaxy, hidden computer programs that humans had built into alien systems suddenly came alive. These programs had been sleeping for years, waiting for this moment. On alien worlds, the safety systems that kept people alive began to work backwards. Air purifiers started making poison gas. Water cleaners began producing acid. Food storage systems released deadly bacteria. The communication systems that connected the alien fleet to their homeworlds suddenly went silent. The navigation computers that guided their ships began showing false information. The life support systems on their ships started to fail. Admiral Kethver's bridge filled with alarm sounds. Red warning lights flashed everywhere. His officers were shouting reports of system failures. "Sir, we are getting emergency calls from across the galaxy," his communication officer reported. "Worlds are going dark. Stations are exploding. Entire sectors are losing power. What is happening?" Kethver demanded. Rogers answered him over the radio. You wanted to know what humans really did for your civilization. Now you're finding out. We did not just help you build your technology. We are your technology, and we can turn it off whenever we want. The second part of the plan was more direct. The human ships, which had looked old and weak, suddenly showed their true power. Advanced energy shields appeared around them. Weapons that could bend space and time emerged from hidden compartments. The 30 human ships attacked the alien fleet. But it was not like any space battle the aliens had ever seen. Human weapons cut through alien shields like they were made of paper. Human ships moved faster than alien sensors could track them. Within minutes, half the alien fleet was destroyed. Or disabled. The remaining ships tried to run away, but their jump drives would not work. The navigation systems that humans had designed refused to obey alien commands, but the real shock came when Admiral Kethver tried to call for help from other alien fleets. His communication system was working, but no one answered. Across the galaxy, every alien military base was dealing with its own crisis as human-built systems turned against them. Dr. Hayes, who was monitoring the battle from Earth, turned to President Carter. The quantum virus is spreading faster than we expected. Every system they have that uses human technology is shutting down. President Carter watched the battle on her screens, and their response? Complete panic. They are starting to understand that without our technology, they cannot even fly their ships properly. The final part of the human plan was psychological. As alien worlds went dark and their mighty fleet became helpless, Admiral Rogers sent a message to the entire galaxy. For 6 months you laughed at our departure. You celebrated when we left. You called us primitive and useless. Now you know the truth. We were not your junior partners, we were your foundation. We were not your students, we were your teachers. And we were not your servants, we were your protectors. The alien fleet, now reduced to floating junk, sent one final message. High Counselor Velthara herself appeared on the screen. Her forearms were shaking with fear and defeat. What do you want from us? She whispered. Rogers looked at her for a long moment. When he spoke, his words would be remembered throughout the galaxy forever. We want what we always wanted. Respect, partnership, equality. The question is, are you finally ready to give it to us? 3 months later, representatives from every alien species in the galaxy came to Earth. They came not as conquerors, but as beggars. They signed a new treaty that made Earth the senior partner in galactic civilization. The humans turned their systems back on. The alien worlds came back to life. The galaxy began to work again. But everything was different now. Ambassador Morrison stood once again in the Galaxy Council chambers. But this time, he stood at the central podium where the most important species belonged. The alien representatives listened to him with respect and fear. Today we sign the new Galactic Charter, Morrison said. This document recognizes that all species are equal partners in our shared civilization. But let it also be a reminder that respect is not optional, it is required. The alien delegates sat in silence. They remembered how they had laughed at the humans 6 months ago. They remembered how they had called humans weak and stupid. Now they knew better. Admiral Kethver, who had survived the battle, raised one of his tentacles. We understand now. Humans are the senior partners. We will follow your leadership. Morrison shook his head. We do not want to be your masters. We want to be your equals. But if you ever try to treat us as servants again, you will remember what happened when you threatened us. The treaty was signed. The galaxy had peace again. But it was a different kind of peace. It was peace-based. On mutual respect, not on force. Years later, alien children would learn about the Great Correction in their history classes. They would learn that true strength does not come from having the biggest weapons or the most ships. True strength comes from being so important that others cannot live without you. The humans had taught the galaxy the most important lesson of, respect cannot be taken by force, it must be earned. And once lost, it can only be regained through humility and change. The galaxy had learned its lesson the hard way. But it had learned.